My son told me to pay rent or get out. The next day I became his landlord and tripled his monthly payment. The afternoon sunlight cast long shadows across the worn living room carpet. Catherine Kate Rodriguez adjusted the prosthetic leg she'd worn since returning from her second tour in Afghanistan, her fingers tracing the familiar grooves of her service medal hanging on the wall. 15 years of military service, 2 deployments, and countless sacrifices. And now this was her reality. The email from her son Ryan had arrived 3 days ago, its clinical precision cutting deeper than any battlefield wound. Mom, the situation with the rental is becoming unsustainable. If you're planning to stay, we'll need to discuss a financial arrangement. Discuss. As if their relationship had been reduced to a business transaction. Kate remembered the day she'd first moved in with Ryan, his wife Elena, and their 2 children. Her military pension wasn't much, and the past few years had been challenging. The VA medical treatments, the ongoing physical therapy, the lingering medical bills, they had slowly eroded her savings. Ryan had suggested she move in to help with the kids and save some money. The words had sounded supportive then. The house in suburban Phoenix felt more like a storage unit than a home. Her personal belongings were confined to a small guest room, boxes stacked in corners, photographs from her military days carefully wrapped and tucked away. The room smelled of dust and disuse, a far cry from the meticulously organized barracks she once called home. Elena worked as a corporate lawyer, always immaculately dressed, always busy. She moved through the house with a calculated efficiency that made Kate feel like an inconvenience. The children, Jake, 12, and Sophia, 8, were rarely home, consumed by school activities and digital distractions. When they were present, their interactions were perfunctory, a quick hello, a mumbled response. Grandma, can you help me with my homework? Had slowly transformed into, Grandma, can you buy me the new game console? Kate had tried. She'd always tried. Whether it was supporting her unit during deployments or now, supporting her family, giving had been her default mode of existence. The morning of the email, Kate had overheard a conversation between Ryan and Elena. She wasn't eavesdropping. The thin walls of the tract housing made privacy nearly impossible. Her medical expenses are adding up, Ryan had said. The property taxes are increasing. The kids' school fees are higher this year. Elena's response was measured. We can't keep supporting her indefinitely. She needs to contribute or find alternative arrangements. Kate had closed her eyes, remembering the young boy who used to climb into her lap, who would listen with wide-eyed fascination to her stories about military service. Now she was a financial calculation, a potential burden to be managed. Her prosthetic leg was a constant reminder of the sacrifices she'd made. The injury had come during a convoy protection mission in Kandahar. An IED, a split second, and her life changed forever. She'd fought through rehabilitation, learned to walk again, to run again. She'd proven to her unit, to herself, that she was more than her injury. But here, in this suburban home, she felt invisible. The medals, the service, the years of dedication, they meant nothing in the context of monthly rent and utility bills. Ryan's email gave her 3 weeks. 3 weeks to either start paying rent or find another solution. The amount he suggested was close to what she received monthly from her military pension. It would leave her with barely enough for medical supplies and emergency funds. Kate looked around the room. The walls were decorated with Ryan's achievements, law school diploma, corporate awards, family photos showing picture-perfect moments. Her own military commendations were tucked away in a drawer, a silent testament to a different kind of service. She thought about her fellow veterans, Maria, who ran a small support group for disabled veterans, Jack, who started a landscaping business after leaving the service. They hadn't given up. They'd found ways to rebuild, to create new purpose. The house was quiet. Elena was at work. Ryan was at his law firm. The children were at school. Kate was alone with her thoughts, with the weight of her experiences, with the growing realization that something needed to change. Her fingers brushed against the service metal. Resilience wasn't just about surviving. It was about adapting, about finding new strategies when the old ones no longer worked. 3 weeks. The countdown had begun. The Community Center for Veterans became Kate's lifeline. Located in a retrofitted warehouse on the outskirts of Phoenix, it was a world entirely different from the sterile suburban environment of Ryan's home. Here, people understood without words. Prosthetic limbs, service scars, and shared experiences created an unspoken language of mutual respect. Maria Gonzalez, a fellow veteran who ran the support group, noticed the change in Kate's demeanor. "You're different this week," she observed during their Wednesday morning meeting. Her own wheelchair was adorned with unit patches and motivational stickers, a testament to survival and spirit. Kate had been exploring options. The center offered workshops on veteran entrepreneurship, small business grants, and financial planning. Her military logistics background, years of coordinating complex supply chains and managing resources under extreme conditions, began to whisper alternative possibilities. A flyer caught her eye, a local real estate investment seminar specifically targeting veterans. Free admission, sponsored by a veteran-owned financial consulting firm. Something inside her stirred. The same tactical mind that had navigated dangerous terrains in Afghanistan now saw potential in unexpected places. The seminar was held in a conference room with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking downtown Phoenix. Veterans of different ages filled the room, some in full military gear, others in business suits, united by a common thread of service. The presenter, Jack Harrington, a Marine Corps veteran turned real estate investor, spoke with the commanding presence of someone who understood both military discipline and financial strategy. "Real estate isn't just about properties," Jack explained. "It's about creating opportunities, about building something sustainable for yourself and your community." Kate listened intently. Her fingers unconsciously traced the outline of her prosthetic leg, a habit developed during recovery. She remembered how she'd been told she might never walk again. She'd proven those predictions wrong. Now she was ready to prove something else. During a break, she approached Jack. Her questions were precise, military sharp. How much initial capital was needed? What were the risks? What support systems existed for veterans entering real estate? Jack recognized the strategic mind behind the questions. "Most veterans have skills they don't even realize are valuable in business," he told her. "Discipline, strategic thinking, risk management. These aren't just military skills, they're entrepreneurial skills." That evening, Kate approached Ryan differently. No longer apologetic, no longer feeling like a burden. She outlined her emerging plan. She was exploring real estate investment opportunities. She would become financially independent. Ryan seemed surprised by her newfound determination. "Mom, real estate is complicated," he said, his lawyer's skepticism evident. "It's not like managing a military logistics operation." Kate smiled. "Coordinating supply chains in a war zone is complicated. This will be different." Elena listened. From the kitchen, her corporate lawyer's mind already calculating potential scenarios. Jake and Sophia barely looked up from their digital devices, the conversation background noise to their online worlds. The Veterans Center connected Kate with resources, small business loans for veterans, mentorship programs, networking events. Each interaction felt like rediscovering a part of herself long forgotten. The strategic thinker, the problem solver, the leader. Maria introduced her to a local real estate investment group specifically for veterans. They met in a community center conference room, a diverse group united by service and entrepreneurial spirit. Military branches varied: Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, but the underlying code remained the same: mutual respect, strategic thinking, resilience. Kate began studying real estate regulations, online courses, local workshops, late nights reviewing market trends. Her military discipline translated perfectly into this new mission: intelligence gathering, strategic planning, risk assessment. She discovered something remarkable. The very neighborhood where Ryan lived, a growing suburban area with increasing property values, presented interesting investment opportunities. Rental properties were in demand. Young professionals, growing families. The market was ripe. Her military pension, combined with carefully saved funds and potential veteran business loans, could be a starting point. Not just a survival strategy, but a path to genuine financial independence. Ryan continued to view her efforts with a mixture of skepticism and mild condescension. "It's good you're keeping busy," he would say, a statement that felt more patronizing than supportive. But Kate was no longer seeking approval. She was building a strategy, gathering intelligence, preparing for a mission more complex and personal than any she'd undertaken in her military career. The countdown to her potential eviction continued. But now, it felt less like a deadline and more like a launching pad. The truth revealed itself. On a Tuesday afternoon, hidden between spreadsheets and casual conversation, Kate was helping Elena organize some home office documents when a series of emails caught her eye. Not intentionally, the laptop screen was open, the words impossible. To miss mortgage discussions, property evaluations, a string of communications that painted a picture far different from the family narrative she'd been told. Ryan and Elena weren't struggling financially, they were strategizing, and she was part of their calculation. "We can leverage Mom's presence for the next 6 months," one email read. "Her pension and potential contribution can help us bridge the gap until the property value increases." Kate's military training had always emphasized situational awareness, gathering intelligence, assessing the terrain. This was familiar ground, even if the battlefield had changed. She remembered the conversations, the subtle hints about financial strain, Jake's expensive gaming equipment, Sophia's private school tuition, the recent kitchen renovation. None of these suggested the financial hardship they'd described. The Veterans Support Group became her sanctuary of truth. Maria understood immediately. "They're using your vulnerability," she said, her voice steady, "weaponizing family obligation." Jack, the real estate investor, offered a more tactical perspective. "It's about leveraging assets. In this case, you're the asset they're trying to exploit." Kate began documenting everything: bank statements, conversation records, the subtle manipulations. Her military intelligence training kicked in: evidence, gathering strategic analysis. Ryan's approach changed subtly once Kate began asking more pointed questions. More dinners together, conversations about family support. But the underlying message remained the same: financial contribution or departure. Jake's requests became more frequent. "Grandma, can you buy me the new console?" Elena would intervene, with a practiced smile. "We're teaching financial responsibility." The irony wasn't lost on Kate. The community center became more than a support network. It transformed into her strategic planning headquarters. Veterans with diverse backgrounds, small business owners, entrepreneurs, financial advisors, offered perspectives. A retired Air Force logistics officer suggested she explore property investment in the area. Your son's neighborhood? Prime location, growing market, increasing property values. Kate remembered her military training, adaptability, strategic thinking, turning challenges into opportunities. She began exploring financing options: veteran, small business loans, real estate investment programs. Her military service provided advantages she hadn't previously understood: preferential lending terms, support networks, skills that translated directly into entrepreneurial success. The house felt different now, no longer a place of refuge, but a strategic location. She observed everything with new eyes: property layout, potential rental value, market trends. Elena's corporate lawyer background became an unexpected resource. Unintentionally, she'd left documents that provided insights into local real estate dynamics. Kate's strategic mind began connecting dots. Ryan continued the narrative of financial struggle. "Mom, the market is tough. Mortgage rates are challenging." But the emails told a different story. They were positioning themselves, looking to expand their real estate portfolio. The Veterans Investment Group provided more than emotional support. They offered practical resources, connections with local real estate agents, understanding of market nuances, strategies for property acquisition. Kate's prosthetic leg, once a symbol of limitation, now represented her resilience. Each step was calculated, each movement purposeful. She began viewing the situation not as a personal betrayal, but as a strategic challenge. Her son and daughter-in-law saw her as a financial instrument. She would redefine the terms of engagement. Maria's words echoed. "They don't see you as a person. They see you as a resource to be managed." Kate was done being managed. She was preparing to take control. The countdown continued. But now, it wasn't a countdown to potential eviction. It was a countdown to transformation. Her military training had prepared her for moments like these: adapt, overcome, succeed. The game was about to change, and she was holding the strategic advantage. The walls seemed to breathe with unspoken conversations. Kate stood in the hallway, her prosthetic leg perfectly aligned, listening to a conversation Ryan didn't know she could hear. "We just need her to stay another 2 months," Ryan said to Elena, his voice low but clear. "The property assessor is coming next quarter. Her presence helps stabilize our mortgage application." Elena's response was calculated. "She thinks we need her help, but really she's just a placeholder in our financial strategy." The words landed like shrapnel. Kate had survived IED explosions in Afghanistan. She understood tactical manipulation. But this was different. This was personal. Her military training had taught her to assess situations clinically. Emotion was a luxury battlefield strategists couldn't afford. Now, those skills translated into a different kind of warfare: financial and familial. The Veteran Support Group became her war room. Maria, Jack, and other veterans listened as Kate laid out the detailed intelligence she'd gathered. Bank statements, overheard conversations, property records. "They're using your presence as a financial tool," Jack explained, his fingers tracing a local real estate map. "Your pension, your potential contribution, you're not family, you're a financial asset." Kate remembered the subtle shifts. Jake's increasingly demanding requests, Sophia's indifferent glances, Elena's meticulously managed interactions, Ryan's carefully constructed narrative of financial struggle, the kitchen renovation, the private school tuition, the latest gaming, systems. These didn't align with the story of financial hardship they'd been selling. Her military intelligence background kicked into high gear. She began collecting evidence, documentation, financial records, conversation transcripts. Each piece of information was a potential weapon. The local Veterans Center provided more than emotional support. Legal resources, financial advisors, network connections, veterans who had navigated similar familial battlegrounds. "You're not alone," Maria told her during a support group meeting. "Many veterans face this, families seeing service as a weakness instead of strength." Kate's prosthetic leg, a testament to her resilience, became a symbol of her determination. Each step was calculated, purposeful, no longer apologetic. She discovered something more. The property Ryan and Elena were living in had potential. Growing neighborhood, increasing property values, a strategic location that represented more than just a family home. Financing options emerged: veteran small business loans, real estate investment programs. Her military service provided advantages she hadn't previously recognized. The countdown to potential eviction transformed, no longer a threat, now an opportunity. Ryan continued his narrative of financial struggle, subtle mentions of tight budgets, hints about potential difficulties. But Kate was reading between the lines. Elena's corporate lawyer background provided unintentional insights. Documents left carelessly, conversations half-heard. Each piece of information was a strategic intelligence gathering. The Veterans Investment Group became her tactical support network. Real estate experts, financial advisors, people who understood the art of strategic positioning. "They're trying to use you," Jack said during a strategy session. "But you have more power than they realize." Kate began exploring property investment options. The very neighborhood they lived in presented interesting opportunities. Rental markets, growing professional demographic, increasing property values, her military pension, carefully saved funds, potential veteran business loans. These weren't limitations, they were resources. Jake's requests became background noise. "Grandma, can you buy me the new console?" No longer a demand. Now, a potential strategic indicator. Sophia's indifference transformed from a personal hurt to a tactical observation. Family dynamics were just another operational terrain to navigate. The house no longer felt like a home. It was a strategic location, a potential investment, a battlefield of a different kind. Ryan and Elena continued their careful dance, family dinners, calculated conversations. But Kate was no longer their unsuspecting participant. Her military training had prepared her for moments of unexpected revelation. Adapt, assess, overcome. The game was changing, and she was about to become the primary player. The mirror reflected a woman transformed. Kate studied her reflection, tracing the lines of her face, each wrinkle a testament to battles fought, both on distant battlefields and in the quiet wars of family dynamics. Her prosthetic leg, once a symbol of limitation, now stood as a monument to resilience. The Veterans Entrepreneurship Workshop had become more than just a weekly meeting. It was her personal boot camp of self-rediscovery. "You are not defined by your injury," Jack, the veteran real estate mentor, had told her. "You are defined by how you adapt, how you overcome." Financial statements spread across the kitchen table looked less like intimidating documents and more like strategic maps. Each number, each line item became a potential point of tactical advantage. Kate began, documenting her own worth, not in monetary terms, but in experiences. 15 years of military service, logistics coordination under extreme conditions, leadership in moments of crisis, rehabilitation after a life-altering injury. These weren't just experiences, they were qualifications. The Veterans Support Group became a mirror, reflecting back her true value. Maria, who had started a successful landscaping business after losing both legs, shared her journey. "They tried to tell me I was broken," she said. "I showed them I was unbreakable." Kate's military pension wasn't just a monthly check, it was capital. Her experiences weren't limitations, they were assets. She began taking online courses. Real estate investment, financial planning, business strategy. Each module was another piece of armor, another weapon in her arsenal of self-worth. Ryan's house transformed in her perception, no longer a place of refuge or potential burden. Now, a strategic opportunity. The neighborhood's property values, the potential for rental income, the market dynamics, all became clear with her newfound perspective. Elena's corporate lawyer precision had unintentionally provided a roadmap. Financial documents, property assessments, market trend analyses, all left carelessly within reach. Jake's constant requests for the latest gaming console became less about teenage entitlement and more about a deeper family dynamic, a system of constant asking, of measuring worth through material possessions. Sophia's indifference became a study in familial detachment. How families commodify love. How relationships become transactional. The Veterans Community Center offered more than support. It offered transformation. Workshops on financial independence, seminars on veteran entrepreneurship, resources for those ready to redefine their narrative. Kate began to see her prosthetic leg differently, not as a reminder of what she'd lost, but as proof of what she could overcome. Each step was a declaration, each movement a statement of resilience. Her military training provided a framework for this personal mission. Strategic planning, resource, assessment, risk management. These weren't just military skills, they were life skills. The countdown to potential eviction transformed. No longer a threat. Now, an opportunity for reinvention. Financial advisors at the Veterans Center helped her see her resources differently. Her military pension, her savings, her potential for investment. These weren't just numbers. They were weapons of empowerment, Ryan's narrative of financial struggle began to sound hollow. The kitchen renovation, the private school tuition, the latest technology, these didn't align with a story of economic hardship. Elena's meticulously managed interactions revealed more than she intended. Family dynamics became a terrain to be studied, mapped, conquered. Kate started attending real estate investment seminars, networking events, community meetings. Each interaction was a reconnaissance mission, gathering intelligence, building strategies. Her daughter-in-law's corporate lawyer background provided unexpected insights, documents left open, conversations half heard. Each piece of information was intelligence to be analyzed. The Veterans Investment Group became her strategic support network. Real estate experts, financial advisors, people who understood the art of strategic positioning. Your service isn't just what you did in the military, Jack told her during a mentorship session. It's how you continue to serve yourself, your community, your future. Kate began to understand. Her worth wasn't determined by her ability to be useful to her son's family. Her worth was defined by her own potential, her own dreams. The house no longer felt like a prison. It was a strategic location, a potential investment, a battlefield of a different kind. Ryan and Elena continued their careful dance of family dynamics. But Kate was no longer an unsuspecting participant. Her military training had prepared her for moments of personal transformation. Adapt, assess, overcome. The game was changing, and she was about to become the primary player. The Phoenix real estate market had its own rhythm. Kate had learned to read its pulse like she once read battlefield terrain, with patience, strategy, and an unwavering commitment to the mission. Her first offer came unexpectedly. A small multi-unit property just 2 blocks from Ryan's house. The listing had been sitting dormant, overlooked by more traditional investors, but Kate saw potential where others saw only limitations. This isn't just about buying a property, Jack from the Veterans Investment Group told her. This is about reclaiming your narrative. The property was a 3-unit townhouse complex. Dated exterior. Potential for significant renovation. Located in a neighborhood on the cusp of transformation. Kate recognized the strategic value immediately. Financing became her first challenge. Veterans' small business loans. Carefully accumulated savings. Her military pension. Each resource carefully mapped, each opportunity meticulously evaluated. Maria from the Veterans Support Group helped her navigate the initial paperwork. They don't teach this in military logistics, she laughed, but the principles are the same: preparation, intelligence, execution. Ryan remained oblivious. Casual conversations about real estate were met with his trademark lawyer's dismissive smile. "Mom, these investments are complicated," he would say, his voice carrying that particular tone of condescension reserved for what he considered naive attempts. Elena's corporate lawyer background had unintentionally provided Kate with unexpected insights. Property assessment documents, market trend analyses. Each piece of information became another strategic resource. The Veterans Center became her war room, strategy sessions, financial planning workshops, networking events. Each interaction was a calculated move toward her ultimate objective. Kate's prosthetic leg, once a symbol of limitation, now represented her resilience. Each step toward property ownership was deliberate, purposeful. Financing required creativity, a combination of veteran business loans, carefully preserved savings, her military pension strategically deployed. The same tactical thinking that had kept her unit alive in Afghanistan now guided her financial strategy. The property inspection revealed more potential than challenges. Outdated electrical systems, aging plumbing. But Kate saw opportunity where others saw obstacles. Her military logistics background translated perfectly into renovation planning. Jake's constant requests for the latest gaming console became background noise. Sophia's indifference, a mere footnote in her larger strategy. The closing happened on a Tuesday, bright Arizona sunlight flooding the real estate office. Kate's signature was steady, purposeful, each line of the document a declaration of independence. "Congratulations," the real estate agent said. "First investment property?" Kate smiled. "First of many." The Veterans Investment Group celebrated. Not just a property purchase, a strategic life transition. Ryan received the news with calculated coolness. "An investment property? Are you sure you can handle this?" The subtext was clear. Doubt, condescension, the same approach that had defined their recent interactions. Kate's response was measured. "I've managed complex logistics in war zones. I think I can handle a property investment." The renovation became her new mission. Veteran contractors, local support networks. Each decision, a strategic calculation. Elena's professional network provided unexpected resources, contacts, insights, unintentional intelligence gathering. The property's potential became clear. Rental market analysis, neighborhood development, trends. Each report confirmed her strategic vision. Jack from the Veterans Group helped her develop a comprehensive plan, renovation strategy, pricing model, long-term investment approach. Maria's advice echoed, "This isn't just about property. This is about reclaiming your power." Kate understood now. This wasn't just a real estate investment. This was a declaration of independence. The multi-unit property represented more than a financial asset. It was a strategic position, a launching pad for her next life phase. Ryan's house, just 2 blocks away, now existed in a new context. No longer a place of potential eviction, now a strategic location in her expanding real estate portfolio. The Veterans Support Network celebrated her transformation. Not just a property purchase, a life redefined. Kate looked at the property documents. Signed, sealed, delivered. The game had changed, and she was now the primary player. The confrontation was never going to be simple. Kate understood tactical engagements. She had navigated far more complex terrains in Afghanistan than a family dispute in suburban Phoenix. The property acquisition was just the first phase. Her strategic plan required precision, timing, a complete understanding of the battlefield. In this case, the real estate market and family dynamics. Ryan received the certified letter on a crisp Wednesday morning. The document was clinical. Professional, exactly the language he understood as a corporate lawyer. Notice of property ownership, intention to lease, detailed assessment of current market rental rates. The multi-unit property she'd purchased wasn't just 2 blocks from his house. It was a calculated strategic position. Each unit meticulously renovated, each detail carefully considered. Elena discovered the details first. her corporate lawyer's mind quickly processing the implications: the property assessment, the market analysis, the rental rates. Kate had done her homework with military precision. The family dinner that evening was a masterclass in controlled tension. Jake scrolled through his phone. Sophia picked at her meal. Ryan's lawyer facade began to crack. "You bought a property?" he asked, his voice a mixture of disbelief and something else. Concern? Respect? Kate's response was measured. "I invested in a strategic real estate opportunity." The Veterans Support Group had prepared her for this moment. Maria's advice echoed in her mind. "Your worth isn't determined by their perception. It's defined by your actions." Jake looked up from his phone. "Grandma, can you buy me the new gaming console?" The request hung in the air, a familiar pattern, an expectation of compliance. Kate's smile was different now. Not apologetic. Not dismissive. Simply neutral. "Perhaps we should discuss a more sustainable approach to your technological needs," she said. Ryan's eyebrow raised. Elena's fork paused. Mid-motion. The conversation shifted. Subtly, strategically. Kate outlined her investment strategy. Not as a plea, not as a request for validation, but as a matter of fact. The renovation details, the market analysis, the potential rental income. Her military logistics background transformed into a sophisticated real estate investment approach. Each detail calculated, each potential scenario mapped. The Veterans Investment Group had been her strategic planning, headquarters, Jack's mentorship, Maria's support, the network of veteran entrepreneurs who understood transformation. Ryan tried to interject with legal terminology, professional skepticism, the language of corporate negotiation. Kate matched him. Point for point, her research was comprehensive. Her understanding of the local real estate market deep and nuanced. Elena watched, her corporate lawyer's mind processing the information, the strategic positioning, the comprehensive approach. "You've been planning this," Ryan said. Not a question, a statement. Kate's response was simple. "I've been preparing." The subtext was clear. This wasn't just about a property investment. This was about reclaiming agency, challenging the family dynamics that had reduced her to a financial calculation. Jake's gaming console request seemed trivial now. Sophia's indifference revealed as a learned family behavior. The dinner continued. But something had shifted. The power dynamics, the expectations, the underlying family narrative. Kate's prosthetic leg, once a symbol of limitation, now represented her resilience. Each step, each movement, a declaration of independence. Ryan attempted to steer the conversation. Professional concerns, market, volatility, potential risks. Kate matched him, comprehensively. Her market research was thorough. Her understanding of real estate investment sophisticated. Elena's professional network had unintentionally provided her with unexpected resources. Market trend analyses, property assessment documents, each piece of information becoming a strategic tool. The Veterans Support Network celebrated her approach. Not just a property purchase, a strategic life transformation. Jake's constant technology. Requests became background noise. Sophia's calculated indifference a mere footnote in a larger strategic narrative. The conversation wasn't a confrontation. It was a recalibration. Ryan's lawyer persona began to crack. Professional skepticism giving way to a grudging respect. "You've been planning this?" he repeated. Kate's smile was her answer. The family dinner continued, but nothing would be the same. Her military training had prepared her for moments of strategic transformation. Adapt, assess, overcome. The game had changed, and she was now the primary player. The Veterans Support Group would hear about this. Another story of transformation, of resilience, of reclaiming personal power. Kate looked around the dinner table. Her family, her strategic terrain. The next phase of her mission was about to begin. The next 3 months became a masterclass in strategic personal transformation. Kate's multi-unit property wasn't just a real estate investment. It was a blueprint for rebuilding her entire life. Renovation became her primary mission, each unit transformed with the same precision she once applied to military logistics. Outdated electrical systems replaced, plumbing modernized, spaces redesigned to maximize functionality and appeal. Veterans from her support network became her primary workforce. Carlos, a Marine Corps veteran turned contractor, led the renovation team. "We're not just fixing a building," he would say. "We're rebuilding possibilities." The property became a living testament to veteran resilience. Each repair, each improvement, a metaphor for personal reconstruction. Ryan's initial skepticism morphed into a complicated mix of curiosity and professional respect. Corporate lawyer meetings now occasionally included casual inquiries about her renovation progress. "How are the units coming along?" he would ask during family dinners. The question carried a different tone now, less condescending, more genuine interest. Elena's professional network provided unexpected resources, contractor recommendations, market trend insights, unintentional intelligence that Kate strategically incorporated into her renovation plans. Jake and Sophia watched the transformation with growing fascination. The constant stream of veterans working on the property, the systematic approach, the careful planning. Jake's requests for gaming consoles became less frequent. Something was changing in the family dynamic. The Veterans Community Center became Kate's strategic planning headquarters, workshops on property management, financial planning seminars, networking events that transformed personal connections into professional opportunities. Maria's landscaping business provided additional renovation insights. "It's about seeing potential," she would tell Kate. "Where others see limitations, we see opportunities for growth." Jack from the Veterans Investment Group helped Kate develop a comprehensive leasing strategy. Market rate analysis, tenant screening processes, long-term investment planning. Each renovation decision was a calculated move, not just about increasing property value, about creating sustainable living spaces for working professionals. The property's location became a strategic advantage. 2 blocks from Ryan's house, in a neighborhood on the cusp of significant development. Kate's military intelligence background translated perfectly into real estate positioning. Veteran contractors brought more than technical skills. They brought stories of transformation, of rebuilding, of finding purpose after military service. Ryan began to see the property differently. No longer a simple real estate investment, a comprehensive rebuilding project. Elena's corporate lawyer perspective shifted. Professional curiosity replaced initial skepticism. Jake started asking different questions about renovation processes, about property management, about veteran entrepreneurship. Sophia's indifference transformed into quiet observation. The systematic approach, the strategic planning, the collective effort. Kate's prosthetic leg became a symbol of this transformation. Each step on the renovation site a declaration of resilience, of possibility. The Veterans Support Network celebrated each milestone, not just a property renovation. A life reconstruction, tenant screening became another strategic operation. Kate approached it with the same methodical approach she'd used in military logistics: background checks, financial verification, personal interviews. Jack's mentorship proved invaluable. "This isn't just about filling units," he would say. "This is about building community." The first tenants were carefully selected: working professionals, individuals with stable incomes, potential long-term residents who would respect the newly renovated spaces. Ryan began attending some of the Veterans Community Center events. Professional networking. Understanding the veteran entrepreneurship ecosystem. Elena's professional network started referring potential tenants. a subtle acknowledgement of Kate's growing expertise. Jake's school project became about entrepreneurship. Interviews with veteran business owners. A presentation about his grandmother's property investment journey. Sophia started showing interest in design. Renovation strategies. The art of transforming spaces. The family dinners changed. Conversations about renovation progress, property management insights, veteran entrepreneurship experiences. Kate's military pension became more than a monthly check. It was capital, a resource for continued investment and growth. The Veterans Investment Group celebrated her comprehensive approach, not just a property purchase, a complete life transformation. Ryan's lawyer skepticism transformed into professional respect. Occasional conversations about real estate investment strategies. Elena's corporate connections provided unexpected opportunities, networking events, professional introductions. Jake's technology requests became less frequent, more strategic conversations about entrepreneurship. Sophia's observation became more engaged, understanding the systematic approach to personal and professional growth. The multi-unit property represented more than a financial asset. It was a launching pad for personal transformation. Kate looked at the renovated units, each space a testament to veteran resilience, to personal reconstruction. The game had changed, and she was now the primary architect of her future. The next phase of her mission was about to begin. The first hint of reconciliation arrived unexpectedly. A Saturday morning, sunlight filtering through the newly renovated property's kitchen windows. Kate was reviewing tenant applications when Ryan's car pulled into the driveway. No phone call, no warning, just Ryan, standing awkwardly with a file folder and 2 coffee cups. "I brought you a latte," he said. The peace offering hung. Between them, more symbolic than substantial. Jake was with him. The teenager looked different, less absorbed in his digital world. More observant. Curious. The Veterans Support Group had prepared Kate for moments of potential reconnection. Maria's advice echoed in her mind. Reconciliation isn't about forgetting, it's about understanding. Ryan spread documents across the kitchen table, property assessment reports, neighborhood development projections, not as a lawyer seeking advantage, but as a son attempting conversation. "I've been looking at the neighborhood development plans," he said. His voice carried a different tone, less dismissive, more collaborative. Jake pulled out his tablet. A presentation about veteran entrepreneurship, his school project. But something more significant lurked beneath the surface. "Grandma," he said, "can I interview you about your property investment?" The request was different. Not a demand for a gaming console, but a genuine attempt at connection. Kate's prosthetic leg, once a symbol of limitation, now represented her journey. Each step, a testament to resilience, to transformation. Elena's professional network had begun providing unexpected opportunities. Introductions, networking connections, subtle acknowledgments of Kate's growing expertise. The multi-unit property had become more than a financial asset. It was a bridge, a potential pathway to understanding. Carlos, the veteran contractor who had led the renovation, understood transformation intimately. "Sometimes," he told Kate, "rebuilding a property is like rebuilding relationships. Patience, strategic approach, recognizing potential." Ryan's lawyer persona began to dissolve, professional skepticism giving way to genuine curiosity. "How did you learn all this?" he asked, reviewing the property management documents. Kate's response was measured. "The same way I learned to survive in complex missions. Preparation, strategic thinking, continuous learning." Jake watched the interaction, absorbing, understanding. The Veterans Community Center had become more than a support network. It was a transformation hub, workshops, networking events, Opportunities for veteran entrepreneurs. Elena's corporate connections provided unexpected insights. Market trend analyses. Professional networking opportunities. Jake's school project became a window into a different world. Veteran entrepreneurship. Personal resilience. The art of rebuilding. Sophia's previously indifferent attitude transformed. Quiet observation. Growing understanding of strategic life approaches. The family dinners changed. Conversations about renovation progress, property management insights, veteran experiences. Ryan began attending Veterans Community Center events, professional networking, understanding the veteran entrepreneurship ecosystem. Jack from the Veterans Investment Group became an unexpected mentor, not just for Kate, but potentially for Ryan. The property's renovation became a metaphor for personal reconstruction, for family understanding. Elena's professional perspective shifted. From skepticism to genuine interest, Jake's technology requests became strategic conversations about entrepreneurship, about potential, about future possibilities. Sophia started showing interest in design, in renovation strategies, in understanding systematic approaches to growth. The Veterans Support Network celebrated each moment of potential reconnection, not just a property investment, a family reconstruction. Ryan's occasional visits became more frequent, not as a lawyer, but as a son attempting to understand. Elena's professional network began providing unexpected collaborative opportunities. Jake's interviews about veteran entrepreneurship revealed deeper motivations. Sophia's observation transformed into active engagement. The multi-unit property represented more than a financial asset. It was a bridge between generations, between different life experiences. Kate looked at Ryan, at Jake, at the potential for understanding. The game had changed. Reconciliation wasn't about forgetting, it was about creating new possibilities. The next phase of their relationship was about to begin. A delicate reconstruction. Not just of property, but of family understanding. 1 year after purchasing the property, Kate sat on the small balcony of her renovated unit, watching the Arizona sunset paint the sky in shades of burnt orange and deep purple. The multi-unit property had become more than an investment. It was a testament to transformation, to resilience, to unexpected possibilities. Her prosthetic leg rested against the chair, no longer a symbol of limitation, but a reminder of journeys traversed. Military service, personal recovery, financial rebirth. The Veterans Support Group had become her extended family. Maria's landscaping business, Jack's real estate mentorship, Carlos's construction expertise, each connection a thread in a larger tapestry of veteran empowerment. Ryan's visits had become more frequent, not the calculated interactions of the past, but genuine attempts at understanding. "I never saw your strength," he admitted during their last conversation. The statement hung between them, part apology, part revelation. Jake's school project about veteran entrepreneurship had transformed into a genuine passion. Interviews, research, a growing understanding of resilience beyond technological distractions. Sophia had begun showing interest in design and renovation, not just as a passive observer, but as an active learner. Elena's professional network had subtly shifted. Recommendations, introductions, a professional respect that transcended previous family dynamics. The property's renovation told a story of transformation, of seeing potential where others saw only limitations. Kate reflected on the journey, the initial hurt, the strategic planning, the unexpected reconciliation. Her military training had prepared her for complex missions, but this personal reconstruction was perhaps her most challenging operation. The Veterans Community Center continued to be her strategic headquarters. Workshops, networking events, opportunities for continuous growth. Ryan had begun attending veteran entrepreneurship seminars, not as a lawyer seeking advantage, but as a son attempting to understand. Jake's perspective had dramatically shifted, technology requests replaced by genuine curiosity about entrepreneurship, about resilience, about personal transformation. Sophia's quiet observation had become active engagement, understanding the systematic approach to personal and professional growth. The multi-unit property represented more than a financial asset. It was a bridge between generations, between different life experiences. Kate's military pension had transformed from a monthly check to a strategic resource. Capital for continued investment, for continued growth. The Veterans Investment Group celebrated her journey, not just a property purchase, a complete life reconstruction. Ryan's lawyer skepticism had transformed into professional respect. Conversations about strategic life approaches, about veteran entrepreneurship. Elena's corporate connections provided unexpected collaborative opportunities. Professional networking. Mutual understanding. Jake's interviews about veteran experiences revealed deeper motivations, a growing respect for resilience, for strategic thinking. Sophia's interests expanded beyond passive observation, design, renovation, strategic life planning. The family dinners had changed. Conversations about personal growth, about opportunities, about understanding. Kate's prosthetic leg remained a powerful symbol of survival, of transformation, of continuous adaptation. The Veterans Support Network had become her true family. Connections based on shared experiences. On mutual respect, Ryan's approach had fundamentally changed. Attempts to understand, to reconnect, to rebuild. Elena's professional perspective had evolved, respect replacing previous skepticism. Jake's worldview had transformed, from technological demands to genuine curiosity. Sophia's engagement with life had deepened, understanding, observation, growth. The property was more than an investment. It was a declaration of personal power. Kate looked at the sunset, reflected on the journey. Transformation wasn't about revenge, it was about reclaiming personal power. The next chapter was yet to be written. The community center buzzed with energy. Veteran entrepreneurs, aspiring business owners, families seeking new paths. Kate stood at the front of the room, not as a guest speaker, but as a testament to transformation. Ryan sat in the third row. Jake beside him, Elena in the back, taking notes. Their presence was no longer an obligation, but a choice. Resilience isn't about surviving, Kate began. It's about reimagining what's possible. Her prosthetic leg, now a gleaming testament to advanced engineering, caught the light. Each step deliberate, powerful. The multi-unit property had become more than an investment. It was a training ground, a platform for veteran empowerment. Jake's research project had evolved. No longer just a school assignment, now a comprehensive study of veteran entrepreneurship. My grandmother taught me, he said during the Q&A, that limitations are just opportunities in disguise. Ryan's professional network had slowly integrated with the veteran support community. Legal workshops, entrepreneurship seminars, collaborative opportunities. Elena's corporate connections provided unexpected bridges, networking events, professional development programs specifically designed for veterans. Sophia had developed a passion for design and renovation, not just as a career path, but as a way of understanding personal transformation. The Veterans Support Group had become a family, stronger than blood, built on shared experiences, mutual respect. Carlos, the veteran contractor, now managed renovation, projects for the multi-unit property. Each project a lesson in strategic thinking. In resilience. Maria's landscaping business had expanded. Partnerships with veteran-owned enterprises, a network of support and opportunity. Jack's real estate mentorship had transformed from professional guidance to a deeper understanding of veteran potential. The family dinners had become strategic planning sessions, discussions about personal growth, community involvement, shared goals. Ryan's approach to Kate had fundamentally changed, no longer seeing her as a financial resource, but as a source of wisdom, of inspiration. Elena's professional perspective had evolved into active support, recommendations, introductions, collaborative opportunities. Jake's worldview had expanded beyond technological distractions, understanding of entrepreneurship, of strategic life planning. Sophia's engagement with life had deepened, design, renovation, community involvement. The property was more than an investment. It was a declaration of collective potential. Kate's military training had prepared her for this moment. Adaptation, strategic thinking, continuous growth. The Veterans Community Center had become a hub of transformation, workshops, networking, events, opportunities for continuous learning. Ryan had become an unexpected ally. Legal support for veteran entrepreneurs, professional networking opportunities. Elena's corporate connections provided platforms for veteran success. Professional development, strategic partnerships. Jake's passion for veteran entrepreneurship had become a driving force. Research, interviews, community involvement. Sophia's interests expanded. Design, community development, strategic life approaches. The multi-unit property represented more than a financial asset, a bridge between generations, between different life experiences. Kate's military pension had transformed from a monthly check to a strategic resource, capital for continued growth. The Veterans Investment Group celebrated collective success, not just individual achievements, but community transformation. Ryan's professional network had expanded. Understanding of veteran potential, collaborative opportunities. Elena's perspective had shifted from skepticism to active support. Jake's worldview continued to evolve. Understanding of resilience, of strategic thinking. Sophia's engagement deepened. Design, community involvement, personal growth. The property was a living testament to transformation, to collective potential. Kate looked at her family, at her community, at the possibilities ahead. Relationships were not fixed. They were constantly reimagined, redefined. The next chapter was yet to be written. 2 years had passed since Kate's strategic life transformation. The multi-unit property had become more than an investment. It was a beacon of veteran empowerment. The annual Veterans Entrepreneurship Conference became her platform, not just a speaker, a living testament to resilience and strategic reinvention. Ryan introduced her now, not with hesitation, but with genuine pride. "My mother," he would say, "taught me that family isn't about financial transactions. It's about mutual respect." Jake stood beside her during presentations, no longer the entitled teenager, now a passionate advocate for veteran entrepreneurship. Sophia had developed a nonprofit focusing on design solutions for disabled veterans, adaptive living spaces, innovative rehabilitation approaches. Elena's professional network had become a powerful ally. Corporate sponsorships for veteran initiatives, strategic partnerships that transformed lives. The property Kate had purchased now housed a unique ecosystem: veteran-owned businesses, rehabilitation centers, entrepreneurship training programs. Carlos, the veteran contractor, had expanded his business, specialized renovation projects, Employment programs for veterans with disabilities. Maria's landscaping business now trained veterans in entrepreneurial skills. Each project a pathway to economic independence. Jack's real estate mentorship program had grown. A national network of veteran investors, strategic thinkers, life transformers. The Veterans Community Center had become a national model. Workshops, networking events, continuous learning opportunities. Kate's prosthetic leg, now an advanced technological marvel, symbolized more than physical adaptation. It represented continuous transformation. Ryan had become a pro bono legal advisor for veteran entrepreneurs. His corporate background now a tool for community empowerment. Elena's corporate connections created unprecedented opportunities. Veteran business development programs, strategic partnerships. Jake's research had gained national recognition, a comprehensive study on veteran entrepreneurship, scholarships, speaking engagements. Sophia's design nonprofit had received multiple awards. Innovative solutions for adaptive living, rehabilitation technology. The multi-unit property was now a living, breathing community center, not just a real estate investment, a transformation hub. Kate's military pension had become a strategic investment fund, supporting veteran entrepreneurs, funding innovative projects. The Veterans Investment Group had become a national movement, collective empowerment, shared success. Ryan's professional network now prioritized veteran support, legal resources, strategic partnerships. Elena's perspective had transformed corporate approaches to veteran employment. Jake continued pushing boundaries of veteran support, research, advocacy, innovation. Sophia's design solutions changed lives. Adaptive technologies, rehabilitation approaches. The property stood as a monument to collective potential, to reimagined possibilities. Kate reflected on the journey, the initial hurt, the strategic planning, the unexpected transformation. Her military training had prepared her for this moment. Continuous adaptation, strategic thinking, collective empowerment. The Veterans Support Network had become her true legacy, not just a family, a movement. Ryan's understanding had deepened, respect replacing previous limitations. Elena's professional world had been fundamentally reshaped. Jake's passion continued to inspire. Sophia's innovations changed lives. The property was more than an investment. It was a declaration of collective potential. Kate looked at the future, endless possibilities stretching before her. Transformation wasn't an endpoint. It was a continuous journey, call to action. If you've been inspired by Kate's incredible journey of resilience, empowerment, and strategic transformation, we want you to be part of our community. Subscribe to our channel for more inspiring stories of veterans who have turned challenges into opportunities. Hit that subscribe button. Ring the notification bell. Share this story with someone who needs to hear it. Every story of transformation starts with a single decision, one moment of choosing yourself, one strategic move towards reclaiming your power. Are you ready to write your own story of empowerment? Subscribe now. Your journey begins here.